Good evening, all. I found us another historic marker, which is going to talk about the brick portion of the building across the street from us, as well as a little bit about the white clapboarded house right there. This is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. Historic Kent Tavern. This brick tavern was built by Abdiel Kent between 1833 and 1837. I'm just going to move the camera so you can look at something lovely, which is the tavern over here. It served as his home, and from 1837 to 1846 was a stagecoach stop on the road from Montpelier to Canada. The Kent family settled in Calais in 1798, and this section of town is known as Kent's Corners. One of Abdiel's 6 brothers, Ira Kent, lived in the white clapboard house across the street. Together from 1837 until 1860, they operated I&A Kent store in the 2-story wooden addition on the tavern. The Kent family owned the property until 1916, and at various times and places in town made and sold shoes and boots, ran a brickyard and sawmill, and farmed. The barn is the only survivor of several outbuildings that stood on this property. Louise Andrews Kent, the best-selling author of the Mrs. Appleyard series of books, convinced her cousin, A. Atwater Kent, the radio inventor and magnate, to purchase his great-uncle's home and restore it as a museum in 1930. A. Atwater Kent, by the way, lived in Burlington, Vermont. His house is still standing. I have some more to tell you about the place. This is from the National Park Service. Quote, the small collection of buildings that comprise the Kent's Corner Historic District are reminiscent of a 19th century Vermont crossroads hamlet. The 1 square mile of the district contains an intact collection of buildings from this time period that were the nucleus of a small rural community. The remaining buildings include Kent's Tavern, a sawmill, and a few houses, barns, and outbuildings. I should note I'm only focusing on the tavern. The most prominent building is Kent's Tavern. Constructed in 1837 by Abdiel Kent, it was originally, quote, unquote, a Kent's Hotel, a stop on the Montreal to Boston stage line. Stage horses needed to be changed both before and after the 10-mile trip to Montpelier, and after realizing that the Kent family property was the midpoint of that stage route, a young Kent decided to construct a hotel. Kent built a large brick rectangular domestic building while living in a small frame structure behind it, which would be this small piece in the middle here. This wooden section eventually became the tavern's rear L, providing space for a kitchen, pantry, and buttery. Almost all of the building materials were made or produced within a short distance of the building site, illustrating the independence of small rural communities. Brick came from the family brickyard, wood came from the farm and was sawn in the mill, iron work was done in the family blacksmith shop, granite came from a local quarry, while windows and blinds came from a factory in North Calais. Kent's Hotel opened with a Thanksgiving Day ball in 1837, held in the large ballroom on the 2nd floor. After 1846, when Kent was married and the railroad was replacing the stage's business, Kent gave up his hotel business and made the tavern his family home. Kent became involved with other family businesses and operated a general store in the frame L behind his home. The sawmill is an industrial site of considerable architectural and archaeological interest, representative of the water-powered lumber milling industry in Vermont. The relatively intact mill is typical for northern New England and one of very few surviving examples. A timber wheelhouse was located on the north side of the rectangular mill. Water to power the wheel was drawn from a nearby pond. The first floor of the mill housed equipment, while the second floor was the working floor. And I can't do a full walk around of the tavern because there's too much snow on the ground for my safety. This stuff is deep enough. But I can show you the front of the tavern because this is the side view that I've been showing you. There's the clapboard house again. if you're going to come here to see this place, I highly recommend you come when the ground is dry. So, summertime, late spring, early fall. So, lovely example of a federal style building. Looks like some early remnants, bits of Greek revival as well. But we can see the federal styling with the windows over windows. Brick, nice and substantial. Look at those lintels. Those are the parts above the windows. The lintels carry the weight of the upper part of the building. All right, let's continue. By the way, this is an art gallery. I guess it opens once a year. Kind of unfortunate. But I'm guessing perhaps there's not a lot of people coming down through here. And this is the front of the tavern. Does it not look like a tavern? I can tell you right now it does. I mean, wow. You can just tell. If I didn't know, I would guess it had been a tavern. It's a bit reminiscent of the Tavern on Mutton Hill in Charlotte. I'll put a link and you can watch that. Alright. Really, I don't want to walk down this hill. I'm nervous about walking down this hill. I'm wearing light pants, and landing on this on my backside would be most unfortunate. Let me pause the video and I'll come back and see if we can find a sawmill for us. Well, I don't know about the sawmill, but I do see this interesting piece right here. And isn't this light a hoot? I like it. And this building has sidelights. Those are windows on either side of the front door. They're called sidelights because they're on the side of the door and they let in light. And no idea what this is for. But isn't that interesting? Interesting. And it's going to be able to see something inside. Look at those floors. Wow. Back when trees were natural timber, I mean, were huge. Wow. Look at that. Isn't that a great piece? And once more over here too. And up above. Up above. Okay. Another door here. A fairly fancy door handle compared to the Old West Church, which I had filmed earlier today. So glad the snow is gone because I would not know that this was one heck of a ledge. The next step would be a doozy. And nobody wants a doozy of a step. Am I right? Yes. Yes, I am. Oh. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, this would be for hanging shutters. I love stuff like that. And since I'm thinking that's original to the building. And these steps, wow, pretty amazing. Oh yeah, they have them. I don't see anything above though. Maybe they're not for that. Huh. They may not be for that. I don't know what else they would be for though. But I don't see anything up above. They're all at the base. Huh. Interesting. So we can see a couple right there. And then even above that. Oh. Fascinating. This is a truly interesting piece, though. Clearly a wheel of some sort. Wonder where it ran. Well, another building with no gutters. What is up with that? I think you know that gutters keep rain away from the foundation. You don't want rainwater seeping into the basement. That's a bad idea. Rotting things on its way. But anyway, this is the tavern. I'm not sure where the sawmill is. I'm almost inclined to think it's right there, but I'm not sure for certain. So, next time. So, I'm on all the social media you are: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Traveling for History 1L. Just on my YouTube channel. On Twitter, I am Traveling for HI1. Traveling for HI numeral 1. I upload every day of the week. Why? Because I'm a glutton for punishment, that's why. But anyway, hope you enjoyed my video today. And really appreciate you watching my video. Until I see you again, which is likely tomorrow, have a fabulous